Hello and welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage and today we're going to be having a look at Phantom. Before we jump to the price action, just want to say thank you for watching. If you're enjoying the content, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video and leave us some feedback down below. Also in the description you'll find a link to the Discord. Come check it out, it's free to join. Okay, so we're still looking for further continuation, to see whether we're actually seeing the C wave play out, which would actually be looking to target up here towards this zone of this $1.20 range at a 1-to-1 of this A wave. So potentially we could have formed a bottom here and we could be looking to actually start to progress to the upside here in bigger five-wave structure. So we're going to discuss a couple of things within this. One thing we do need to be aware of is we have actually just come up into this zone of a typical B wave rejection, which is this 0551 area to this 4459 range. So we've actually come up here right up to the 702. Potentially a move higher up here could take us towards the 786. So we need to be cautious. We're right in that sort of sweet spot for rejection. And we need to just be careful we don't have a bigger structure playing out like this to the downside, where we actually could see us come back down into these lower ranges. So we're going to discuss the potential for that breakout to the upside first, and then we'll be discussing some of the potential more bearish options within here. In the previous videos, we've talked about how we could actually have a fourth wave here, so that could actually indicate we have another fifth wave to come. So we need to keep an eye on that, just for the fact that, as long as we hold these support zones in this 2211 range, then potentially, we can look for this continuation up. But once we start to challenge these lower areas, it starts to become less likely. For as long as we hold this low here, we can look for that continuation up. So I'm going to just turn this off for a second and we're going to just dive in here to the smaller time frames. So let me just turn that off. So what we were talking about previously was looking for a breakout to the upside where we're looking at this potential as a wave 1, 2, and then looking for another 1, 2 to the downside. So or to the upside rather. So the key here is basically this move would be looking to actually take us up much higher here towards this zone of this 7710, and that would be a typical third wave um, move of this move over here. So we'd need to see if we can manage to get up into this range. There is potential for, as long as we hold these lows, that we could be setting up 1, 2, maybe even another 1, 2 here, and this starts to get going, then we see something like this which looks to push us up into these areas. So we need to bear in mind it is possible. But I'd like to, well, we'd need to see a move up into the 7710 range at least. These moves can always extend out further, but we need to see a move up into this area. For as long as we fail to actually take this high over here at the zone of this 6555, we need to be aware we can still break down. Okay, so if we're looking at this in a bullish way, we have come back down and we would have been looking at this potentially as another 1 and a 2 into here. But now, the way this is moving up here, there is potential that it could turn into an impulse, but the way it does is looking quite corrective in the way that it's doing this. So we need to just be a little bit cautious that we don't have another leg to the downside. So what I'm looking for here is, if we are looking to progress up and this becomes a 1, 2, this becomes maybe another 1 and a 2 here. What I'd be looking for is basically to continue to maintain this low point of this 44.74, and we wouldn't really want to lose. I'm just going to measure this here so we can get an area we don't want to lose on the retracement here. um, if we do move down, we don't want to lose this 45.92. Once we start to lose this 45.92, it becomes less likely that this is going to continue to the upside. What we'd want to see is potentially a three-wave move back into this zone, retest some of these areas, and then actually look to push to the upside again. And in the immediate short term here, what I'd be looking for basically here is a move at least up towards this 55.39, and that would then potentially look to have this as a 1, 2, 3, and then we'd be looking for this fourth wave to play out, and then getting an additional fifth wave. So this fourth wave, though, wouldn't be allowed to cross this wave 1, which is actually quite close to this mark here. So we'd either have to have some extensions, or this is potentially just not going to happen. Um, Basically, we've come up towards this 1-to-1 here, and that 1-to-1 is of this move here, so as an A, a B, and potentially looking at this as a C wave. So if we do just complete here as a three-wave structure, the next target I'd be looking for would potentially be lower down here towards this 42.28 range, and that would be looking to maintain this idea of having this continuation up where we have another 1-2 structure here, and then looking to push to the upside. If we do come down slightly lower than this, potentially we could look to retest this 786 area, which would be this 40 cent 56, but we really wouldn't want to start losing that range. Invalidation would come by crossing this 37.66 area. So, as long as we hold those zones, we can still look for a potential to push up. If we do break down below these lows here, this would invalidate this additional structure like this, and rather we'd just be looking at this as a 1 and a 2, and then looking for that move to the upside potentially. If, however, we lose this low of this 37.66, basically what I would be looking at is lower down here to see if we manage to find support, and that support zone would actually be here between this, in this zone here of this 40 cent 28 to this 34.30. So if we do break down deeper here, potentially we could be looking to retest this channel line that we've broken out of. We could look to retest this zone before looking to continue up. Or alternatively, if we fail to actually find support on this, it could be seen as a sign of weakness, and we could be looking for that downside to come in. So as long as we hold these key zones, potentially we can look for that continuation. So that would be this zone here of this 44.38, this low here of this 37.81, and then if we start to lose that, we'd need to find support above this 34.30. It can wick through this, but we'd really not want to see anything like this playing out here. Otherwise, it's more likely we're going to get continuation to the downside. So this is what I'm looking out for in the immediate short term, seeing if we're going to get a move down here towards this 40 cent 56, and then whether we do actually find support in this area, and then looking to see if we do progress back to the upside. If, however, we just fail to get a good move back to the upside, and we get a sell-off here that brings us down into this, but then we only get a three-wave move back to the upside, we need to start being cautious at that point, because that could actually indicate we have lower to go here first, and then yeah, potentially even a new low. So we need to hold this structure if we're looking for that bullish case here. Really, we'd want to see this start to move away from here. If this is the right structure as a 1-2, 1-2, potentially another 1-2 here, we'd want to see this starting to get some purchase and getting some nice strong moves with volume. If we fail to do that, then it would probably be more likely we're coming down at least towards this 42.28 area. If not, looking to surpass that and maybe retest this channel line, maybe even test some of these lows here. But once we start to break down past these lows, the structure starts to fall apart. So the reason we need to be careful here is, we were talking about this previously. We've got the potential. I'm going to come out here on the 4 hourly quickly. There we go. We still do have that potential that within the structure, we could have this as a truncation into here, and then this is just a completed A wave. But we could still have this as a B wave, and then looking for that C wave down. So that 1-to-1 of that C wave to the downside would be this 24.77, and basically looking to retest this area. So if we do start to break down in a 5-wave move here, potentially we could come back into these zones and then look to see if we find support. If we fail to hold this 21.69, it basically becomes less likely. The alternative way that we were looking at it was that we were still looking for this as a 5th wave, where this was a 1-2, this was a 3, basically looking for a 4th, and then this 5th wave to the upside. But the problem I have with this is that we came down quite deep, so it's not my preferred count. I think it's neater to say that potentially we did truncate here, and then we could actually look to this move, looking to either progress up from here, and we just had a shorter B wave here, or alternatively we're going to get a little bit more of an extension here. So the thing we need to be cautious of is this. So for as long as we stay below these highs, particularly this one here, this 53.06, we need to be cautious that we don't have something developing here like this as a 1-2, then potentially looking to actually break down for a deeper 3rd wave. That's why it's important to keep this low. If we fail to do so, if we cross this 37.68, potentially what we could then get here is an additional 4th and a 5th wave, which could look to bring us into this 36.74 area. And then from there, if we do get a 5-wave move down, we need to be cautious. If we just form 3-wave structure to the upside and we get rejection again between this 4887 to this 4377 range, potentially we could actually start to break down deeper again in a bigger 5-wave move. So, we need to be cautious. If we do start to break down here, potentially we could look to move further down here and look to actually cross these zones here, this 2466. That would be looking for a bigger 5-wave move to the downside here. If we do move down past 2466, we'd be looking for that additional 5th wave here, and that would tie in quite nicely to that idea of basically having an additional leg down here towards this 2477. So if we did develop a 5-wave move, like I got it plotted out here, potentially we could actually look to complete towards this 786 at this 2169. So keep an eye on these levels. Potentially we could see this still happen. We do have some bullish structure here, but these things can just fail, and then actually we look to set a new low here and move down into these areas. What we need to be particularly careful of on the bigger scale is we were still talking about that possibility of having this as a 5th wave as a flat here. So if this is a 5th wave as a flat and we actually complete into this high, we could actually be looking to start to form some impulsive structure to the downside here. So we were talking about this in the previous video. There's no confirmation of it yet, but it hasn't been validated either. First, we need to move back above this high here of this 5306. And then secondly, we'd have to move back up above this high of this 5950. Until we do, we need to be cautious that we could see this play out as a 1-2, potentially another 1-2 here. And then that could actually indicate that we have a bigger drop to the downside and could mean that we actually look to sell off towards this 1198 to this 0959 region. So this is something that is possible. We need to get back above these highs for further confidence within this move that we could see, continuation up. But until we actually break back above these, we need to be cautious. And even if we do potentially break up above them, we'd need to see good structure because otherwise this could still become an A. We get a B up into this range, and then we get a C wave, which still comes back and tests these areas. So we're going to have to keep an eye on this. We need to get good structure here for this move to the upside. But really, for as long as we hold these key lows, we can potentially look for that continuation up. Losing these, basically, we need to be careful of these more bearish options that we have here. We could actually look to sell off deeper and, push down potentially even towards this zone of this 1457 to this 0912. What I would be looking for if we do have a bigger sell-off here is potentially to actually retest this channel line. That could be an interesting area to see if we get a reaction. We could actually then look to move away from that point. But yeah, once we start to lose these lows, we'll have to be a bit cautious because it could mean a couple of different things within these counts. And, we'd have to just see how it goes and play it level by level. But that would be my initial target that I would be looking for a reaction off of if we do move down lower, this 1457 to this 0912 region. Okay, so I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and leave us some feedback in the description below. Also in the description, you'll find a link to the Discord. Come check it out. It is free to join. As well as that, there is affiliate links for PrimeXBT and BYBIT down there. Both great exchanges that we use on a regular basis. If you do not have an account, using the affiliate link does help support the channel, and we do appreciate it. Everyone, have a great day. We'll see you in the next one. Take care out there.